Yes, yes, yeah. You are tuned into Offering Something. I am your host, Michael Bernier, feeling so good to be alive. You know I love you for tuning into the show. That is for sure. If you're watching on that YouTube situation, click on that subscribe button for me. Hit the notifications bell. That's so nice of you. Big love and thanks to our sponsors at Enjoy Your Life brand and the Organic Natural Shop. And you know we love you for watching. I said it. Oh boy, we have a delicious episode in store for you today with an individual who is a creative thinker, a vibe and scene creator, an entrepreneur, a visionary, an executor of enrichment, a beautiful human, as you can clearly see, an intelligent individual, and a go-getter man who is effectively offering something. It is with great pleasure, happiness, bliss, all that I introduce to y'all, Mr. Scott Plath. Hey!
Hello, Mike.
How are you today, sir?
I'm good. I don't know how to match all of that.
That's you I'm talking about,
Yeah.
buddy.
Thank you. That is a warm introduction.
How you feeling? Comfortable?
I'm comfortable. Yeah,
Safe?
Man. I'm comfortable. I feel safe.
This
yes,
is an
yes,
okay
sir.
environment.
Yes, it is.
You're all right here.
Yes, it is. Rolling up to your studio. It's like, look at me in Newburyport. Here we go.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I know it takes effort to get in the car, all the moves, move your body from there to here. I appreciate it.
Indeed.
Thank you.
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, I know who you are. You're a living legend, but I don't know where you came from. So, where were you born? Where did you come out of the womb? Where did you leave the belly and enter the world? Where were you?
I was in Yonkers, New York. Well, actually, that's a lie. I'm lying already. New Jersey.
Who doesn't know where they were born?
I was born in New Jersey.
Just the state, the whole state came out like boom.
Yeah. That's right. The whole state. Yeah. It's a holiday now. My father was born and raised in New Jersey, so I was born in Belleville, and I spent my first life with his parents in the Passaic area before my folks moved north up to Yonkers, New York.
So how long in Belleville?
Area there? A minute, I would say less than a year.
Less than a year.
I don't remember Yonkers clearly, but yeah.
So you don't know anything about that?
I don't know. Yeah, we used to go back and visit.
Yonkers.
Yonkers.
Really?
I know a little something about Yonkers.
So how long were you in Yonkers?
Until the fourth grade.
Until the fourth
grade, and then folks were doing a little bit better and moved a little farther uptown to the town of Greenburgh, which is borders White Plains.
Let's rewind a little back to Yonkers. For the people that don't know, what's it like in Yonkers?
Well,
where are we in the whole spectrum of things?
Just north of the Bronx, Bronx, New York. My home bordered the Bronx. I mean,
and
literally
safe.
5
it's
to 10 minutes.
It's just a lovely, sweet little town.
No, actually, the area that I grew up in was a little,
it's more like the hood.
Stacks, apartments, garden
project
apartments,
housing,
and
tenement buildings,
like that. Like that. Not far from the Nathan's Famous on Central Avenue, which we weren't allowed to go to because that's where the hoods hung out. Back then, I think there were greasers. It was still the days of Fonzie.
Getting at the socias.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So.
So were you running around in the streets, little Scotties out there punching people in the face, or that wasn't a part of your upbringing?
No, I had the fastest big wheel in the neighborhood. I was until my father took it away because we used to go flying down the hill and right into the street, and that got a confiscation notice. And Yonkers, New York, till fourth grade.
You're there till fourth grade, and then you're in, where'd you say now?
White Plains. We say White Plains because everybody knows where it is, but it's the town of Greenburgh. I went to Woodlands High School, which is just a little farther south than Yonkers.
And you have like a yard.
Yeah, we had a yard. That's right.
Okay.
That
was the difference.
A humble 3-bedroom house with a yard, a lovely yard, and nice neighbors, and no greasers.
Really?
So
safe. You could leave your bike outside if you wanted to.
Yeah, rode my bike everywhere back in the day.
Wow.
We had a basketball in the street. All my boys came over and we played basketball till the street lights came on. And
So while this is going on, you have brothers and sisters?
I have a brother and a sister, younger brother, 3 years younger, and a sister 3 years younger than he.
Making that a total of 6 years younger than you.
That is correct.
That
is right. Good math.
Yeah, that's
good
right.
math. Yeah. So she is actually now bought the house next door to where I grew up. So she's my mother's next door neighbor. She had the opportunity to live with my mother, but she
Plains,
felt
not
that's
Yonkers.
correct. Not Yonkers, White Plains.
Yeah.
And my brother was in Manhattan for a couple of decades, working in the graphic arts department of one of the largest advertisers in the world. And then the pandemic really decimated the advertising world and Manhattan.
His services were no longer needed.
More or less, more or less. He booked it. He booked it out of New York.
Does your sister have a name and your brother have a name?
My brother's name is Dave. David, Crazy Dave.
Dave.
You know Dave. He comes up for Folk Festival every year.
Yeah,
that's
I love
right.
you, Dave. He knows that.
And you probably met my sister. My sister's name is Mai.
Mai?
Yeah, Mai, M-A-I.
I don't know that I met Mai.
And
but I bet she's
coming
nice.
up this year. She's a beautiful woman. Yeah, she's terrific. She's actually from Vietnam. She was adopted when she was 5 years old, and she has since adopted a beautiful child who was a child of abuse and in a really horrible household in Queens, New York.
That's beautiful.
My sister fostered her for a while, and then fought like hell to adopt her permanently.
Is that a little bit of a New York accent that comes out of you once in a while here?
Every once in a while, depending on the word. Yeah, Foster, right? You got me on Foster and hot dog.
There it is, buddy. I love it. So now White Plains, you go to high school out there.
That's correct.
And do you go on to college? Is there college involved?
Yeah. My high school. You know what? There was a restaurant in the neighborhood that I grew up. It was on the outskirts of the neighborhood, a Greek restaurant called Aphrodite's, and I had a paper route. My mother says I was industrious from early on. I had a paper route when I was 11. And when I was 12, the newspaper,
like the bag over the shoulder.
Oh yeah, or on the back of the bike. Yeah. Rolled up, throwing it up the sidewalks. Yeah, the whole suburban newspaper thing.
I love it.
And then I doubled my route and took over the guy's route next to me because he quit, and my boss said, "Do you want the route?" And
you were like, "Yeah, I do."
And that route took me to the restaurant, and I delivered the paper to the restaurant. And one day, one of the brothers, 3 brothers owned it. He came out front and said, "Hey, do you want to be a weekend dishwasher and busboy?" And I was like, "Yeah, $30 plus tips, $30 cash plus tips." I was like, "Hell yeah!" And I was 13 years old, and my pockets were bulging.
Yeah,
$50, and then that's where it started.
Knots in your pocket.
That's where it started. I had hung out with the waiters and the waitresses and the bartenders, and I was only 13, so. After work, they'd all hang out in the bar and have drinks.
You were having drinks at 13?
I wasn't having drinks.
What, 14?
No, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. But they were like second parents. Well, by the time I was 16, I might have had a drink or two. But not at Aphrodite's. That's, Outback maybe, but with the cooks perhaps. But yeah.
So what kind of hobbies are going on in your life at this time?
Man, I have no hobbies.
No hobbies. It was just restaurant life, hustling.
Oh, you're talking about when I was 13, 14?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Bike riding. Basketball, midnight parking lot football. I played high school sports.
Midnight parking lot football.
Yeah, that was
that's
a thing.
Inspiring.
Yeah, that's a thing we did once we had licenses. Once we were 16 and we could head out of the house and grab a 6-pack of beer and go play some football. We used to go to the hospital, Grasslands, and they had a big parking lot with lights, and about 4 or 6 or 8 of us would drive up there with some beers and just play parking lot football until 3 in the morning. Yeah, every once in a while there might be a girl or two, sure. Or we'd go up to the Kensigo Dam and go swimming. And we try not to get in too much trouble. But
so, how long are you there? Like, when does your self end up in the Lowell, Massachusetts region where it currently is?
UMass Amherst was my chosen college to follow the restaurant dream that I was having.
You went to UMass, the zoo.
Yeah, went to the zoo, indeed.
Yeah, okay.
And Crabtree Dorm.
Hospitality management?
Exactly.
Is that what the major is?
I chose the career, or the career chose me. I don't know how it goes, but 13 years old, I just loved this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, singing and dancing and pina coladas and happy people and the waiters would dance around the room and take the crowd with them, and they do that whole Greek dance with the napkin.
I get this, yeah.
And I was like, man, these guys are driving beautiful cars. They have beautiful girlfriends, and they're making big money hosting a big fat party every night. So, I mean, I was 13. I was impressionable. I don't know.
That's what I'm doing.
I don't know if I hadn't had that job, if that's what I would have ended up doing, but it is. And UMass didn't require a whole lot of math. And it was, within a drive to get home to see my friends, and it looked like a great school, and so that's.
You made it through 6 years?
Yeah, no,
4 years.
I couldn't wait to get out, man. I wanted to make money.
You graduated 4 years, and then where do you land after graduating?
I had a bunch of
your degrees,
dorm friends at UMass and at Crabtree, and was very fortunate to meet a girl from Lowell. And I chased her for 4 years.
Just chasing her around.
I chased her around UMass for 4 years. Yeah, making sure any boys that tried to ask her out, I told them that was not.
This ain't happening.
That wasn't happening. Stay away.
Coming out
That's
of you,
right.
kid.
That's right. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So. And it
worked eventually.
Eventually, it worked. Yeah. I mean, we got married. We might have had a wardrobe malfunction after college, and decided to tie the knot and make a family. And I moved up to Lowell because she wasn't having it.
Wardrobe malfunction. That's good. That's rich. I don't know that I've ever heard that. Okay, so at some point, then you're in Lowell, and you're like, that's it. I'm opening a spot.
I pretty much was convinced that's what I was going to do anyway.
Yeah.
Even when I interviewed at UMass, I was not interested in corporate jobs. I was not willing to travel. I actually tried to write a curriculum while I was there that allowed me to go the entrepreneurial route, because I was convinced I was just going to work for myself and open my own restaurant. They didn't go for it at the time, but that's okay. And I came out and I went to work for Sheraton Corp for a year, a couple of independents in between. Then I ended up with 99, and I went to Hilltop Steakhouse. All the while,
what are you doing at these places? Chefing it up, cooking, managing?
You know what? I've worked in kitchens throughout my life, but I was more interested in management. Yeah, I was more interested in management and sales and the social aspect of the industry. I like kitchens, and I do okay, but I'm not a chef.
Yeah.
I think like a chef. I advise the chefs because I know what's right and wrong in a kitchen, but I can't get back to with all the ingredients and create an amazing meal like they do. So I've pretty much been a chef, advisor, while keeping my hands kind of clean.
Looking over the chef's shoulder, like, hold my pepper there, bud. And he's like, what? Scott's back. Here we go.
My favorite expression of chefs is, "Where's the recipe?" Stick to it. Just follow the recipe, man. Everybody wants to be a TV star, and then the customers are like, "There's way too much salt in this," But.
So let's make something clear at this point now, today, current time. You are the owner of Stone's Hospitality Group.
Mm-hmm.
And under this umbrella here, we have Cobblestones of Lowell, Massachusetts.
Our flagship, 28 years now. Yes,
Epic
yes,
spot.
Sir.
We have Moonstones.
That's
Full name,
right.
Moonstones?
Moonstones in
Chelmsford, Massachusetts.
Yeah, Raw Bar Global Chill.
Your first step into a little more suburban vibe.
Yeah, at the time when we opened Moonstones,
Hold on, no Moonstone story yet. Hold on.
Okay.
And then we have the third location, which is
Stone Social
in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Yes, sir.
Which has more of a city vibe where it's located. Somewhere in between.
Yeah, like more casual. I think a little younger, a little hipper, a little quicker.
Okay.
Stone Social is really the inspiration of a changing industry and a changing environment. Watching it happen around us as we ran the other two restaurants.
So let's do this one more time.
Yep.
The first one that you opened is Cobblestones of Lowell. What's the year here? 92?
94.
94.
94. Yeah.
Year is 94.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And how does that go down? Because was it the location that you're in has been a location since day one?
It's been Cobblestone since I got there.
Yeah.
It was 3 restaurants prior to Cobblestones.
Since you've been in the same spot, Cobblestones.
Correct.
How did you step from? So that's your first business.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This building is massive. How do you just step into that?
Yeah, it's a
I
funny
wanna know,
story.
like,
yeah.
Let's get it. Who'd you met the person that had the place you started pursuing? I'm looking for a spot that can be a restaurant. How does it happen?
Well, I started a catering business with a chef partner who moved up from New York. My first job out of college was in New York.
Yep.
For a city corp owned property, high end, and I met a guy there who was a great chef, and he and I started talking about starting a business together because we kind of felt like we had a yin and yang thing going on.
Yeah, sure.
And then I moved up here to get married, and gave him a big hug out the door and said, "Let's stay in touch." And he literally
There's something here.
called me.
What was his name? You got. I like details.
His name was Eddie Zaransky.
Eddie Zaransky.
Eddie Z.
Eddie Z. I knew it was going Eddie Z. I like
yeah.
nicknames. I'm with you.
He's still on the menu, Chef Z. He's no longer with us. He passed away.
Well, we
a
love
few
Eddie
years
Z.
back, but yes, we do. Yes,
Yeah.
we do. A great dude. A
All
great
right.
dude. And an amazing chef. So he moved up here, and he was the chef at the top of the Hub in Boston, and
Look
I was
at
up in the
this.
suburbs of outer Lowell, greater Lowell, and we started a catering
It's
business. Yeah, started collecting some money here and there, using our connects through my Kathy's family, the Moynahans, very well connected. Started getting us little jobs here and there.
Is there dangerous with the well-connected there?
No, it's all good.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
no, fine people.
Okay.
Yeah, they avoid danger.
Those things often go together.
Yeah, they're not
Very dangerous and well-connected often go
yeah,
together.
no. I don't think that they're not ignorant to the danger, but they know people who know people, but no, they don't get their hands dirty either. right?
Okay, fair enough. Carry on. Sorry to interject.
No worries. And so what? We started catering. 5 years of catering and washing our own dishes. We're really good at this, but we need a storefront. We started looking for a deli in the area that we could hire somebody to wash the dishes when we were done catering.
Yeah.
And then, and Kathy's father at the time, Mr. Mo, Jim Moynihan, happened to be the building inspector for the city of Lowell. And someone mentioned to him, I hear your son-in-law, blah, blah, blah. There's a building in downtown Lowell that was a restaurant, but it's been vacant for a couple of years. Why don't you have him take a look at it? So we were not looking for 12,000 historic square feet and 3 stories. We were looking for a deli, really, honestly.
Here you have the biggest location that the city has to offer in this category.
It's a big ass building
do you
in a
feel?
city filled with big ass buildings.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
for sure.
So you looked at it and you're like, whatever, I'm wild. Let's go.
The owner of the building was open to get rid of it. It was listen. I open restaurants in the worst possible economies.
Yeah.
It's so much a pattern that an uncle of mine who's in the market says, the next time I want you to tell me when you're going to start a restaurant, because that's when I'm going to invest. Because I have a way of being at the very bottom of the market. So,
There it is.
1994, we got a great deal on this building. We negotiated a purchase option if our sales exceeded a certain point. We just started with a burger, steak, seafood environment.
You own that building?
I own that building.
This guy.
I've owned that building since the 4th year, man. 24 years. Yeah.
This guy. Wow. Okay.
But, well, I should be technically correct. I do not own the building. My wife does.
Sure. Fair enough.
But she's a friendly landlord. She treats me right. So yeah. She doesn't raise the rent very often, and I own the restaurant, and yeah, man. So
no commingling. Yeah.
You got to keep it separate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't talk business much at home. We don't. There's a rule.
Yeah.
Once you get into the bedroom, there's no business.
Oh, pleasure.
There's no rule. There's a rule. No business in the bedroom. That's the happy place.
So Cobblestone's first place. You're there now. How many years?
28 next month.
So when you first opened the doors, it's 1994, and are you just occupying like one small section of that
Yeah,
massive
pretty much.
building?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? We have 2 environments there. A big ass dining room,
Yeah.
which once upon a time, when it was a men's club back in the 1800s,
It could be a basketball court.
it was
in there.
it was a billiards hall. So we turned it. It's funny because I just passed the Sylvan Street Grill here.
Eat,
on
sleep,
the way
and
here.
chill, something like that. Eat something,
whatever it is.
chill.
Yeah. Well, the owner of the Sylvan Street Grill, Ernie Tremblay, he is a friend of mine. But,
Yeah.
but back then, He owned the Dutton Street Grill in Lowell and decided that he didn't want to be in Lowell. He didn't see the upside potential. So he moved to the Sylvan Street Grill up in...
He wasn't as enlightened as you are.
Well, I'm not sure. He's done rather well. So
He's done quite well.
He's done quite well
I know
as
the
well.
song. I know the song.
Yeah.
I almost know the song.
So we took the building and we negotiated a very favorable lease, and we just worked our ass off. And so we have the tavern on one side, the dining room on the other side. And as we got better and more organized and made a few mistakes and learned our lessons, we started expanding to private parties and functions, and now all 3 stories have function space. Pre-pandemic, everything is an asterisk.
How many
these
rooms
days.
are in there though? There's like 15 rooms.
Oh my God! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 before the kitchens. Yeah, lots of rooms. Yeah, 3 on the top, 3 in the middle.
Incredible house.
Yeah. Oh, listen. I always say all the time.
At the end of it, this is going to be our home.
I say all the time. That's going to be our home. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I've always wanted to develop that 3rd floor into a penthouse. It overlooks the Merrimack Street. And, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful.
So was there
spot.
ever a point throughout this process at Cobblestones that the bottom was falling out? That you were like really reaching to make it work, or was it just peaches and cream, man? This thing was sailing.
Cobblestones was balls out from day one.
So good.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Why? Why does it? Because you see a lot of turnover in Lowell. Those buildings is flipping through restaurants. You're blocked right there. You've seen 40 restaurants in the last 10 years right there. Why are you there? What are you doing? How are you so incredible at this?
You know what? I think there's a couple of answers to that.
Answer this.
I think it begins with discipline and knowing that it has to be managed as a business.
Yeah.
I did not party all night every night and spend all the money that came into the register. We treated it like a business from day one. Not that we didn't party, because we did.
Yeah.
but
you weren't let's just take
the money went to the bank.
Go ball out. Like, we'll drink our own booze, but we're not going to take money out of the drawer.
You know what? That's right, Mike. And as a matter of fact, I could say this with a little bit of humility. Yeah. I never managed the money.
Yeah.
I always had people who took the money and made sure that it got to the bank, right? Which leads us to the second reason it's successful. It was big enough. It was a big space. And so a big space allows you bigger sales, allows you more people, more employees, so there's more margin for error. And so I was able to have management right from the very beginning, so I wasn't going it alone and burning out and making.
And you're saying that your initial lease was set up in a way where like the monthly note was low, but it was a percentage of sales.
That is correct. That's another reason we were successful.
So stressful.
10% of sales. 10% of sales with 10 1-year renewable leases. So we could get out at any time we wanted to. 10% is not a small number.
No, that's a lot. I mean, you see more so like 3 to 5, right? Am I correct with that?
Not anymore. In the restaurant business now, if you can get 6 or 7, you're doing well.
Yeah.
I think somewhere between 7 and 10 is more the norm. But 10 is the is the top of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And I would never run a restaurant now where I had to spend any more than a dime per dollar. I wouldn't do it. I've walked away from a couple of deals because we couldn't get there, and the price of real estate these days. Restaurants. I fear for restaurants. Honestly, I don't know how they're going to afford to continue to pay the rents that are out there. Just like folks who can't find a place to live.
Yeah.
That's a conversation for a different day. We don't want to go there. Right? We want to stay happy.
Let me ask you a question when you mentioned these partying times. Because I know a guy named George Caloris. Was he involved in any of that?
George was there once or twice. Yeah. George, and before George, Tina, his older sister. Yeah.
Caloris.
Tina used to run the Lowell Memorial Auditorium.
That's
she was
right. He says
was one of the boss ladies.
Really interesting things happened in those days.
Yeah. We partied a little bit. Yeah.
He's now in the Newburyport scenes, and I love him. I love him.
He's good people.
So at what point did you have the vision of, all right, this thing is totally sailing right here. Let's get down and open another restaurant?
I think it was probably close going on 10 years where I had 2 managers, and they were pretty much, I think two things happened. One, they couldn't move forward in their career because I was in the way.
Right.
I take my money, and then there's just so much left for them, and
it's kind of a cap here.
we could continue to grow the sales, or we could move on to another property. And my creative inclinations were already restless to do something else. And it's interesting because I like to tell people, Cobblestones was really built before I was 30. And it's what we were looking for, my wife and I, when we were in our 20s. We had children, but on a Friday night, we wanted to go out and get a quality burger and a green bottle of beer, I like to say. And that didn't exist in Lowell.
Like a Kolsch? Like what?
Like a Heineken, a Beck's. Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Kolsch. Whatever that one is.
Something that wasn't, a domestic Budweiser. Of course, just something
Presidente,
back in the day, there was really no craft beer. Maybe Sam Adams was emerging. But Sam started that revolution, right? Sam and Brooklyn
credit.
Brewery. Well, I guess probably Anchor Steam in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But locally it was Sam, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But that was just starting to happen as we opened the Cobblestones. And I like to say we were the first ones carrying craft beer in Lowell. I remember Sam Adams Honey Porter.
That's right.
For anyone who remembers, back in the day before anyone was going crazy over porters and stouts.
So you'd say differentiation points of Cobblestones. Huge space in there.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Two. You get a quality meal.
All fresh.
Where there's green.
All scratch cooked.
Yeah.
Everything is
real
fresh
food.
Yeah,
And then also a selection of beer. You stepped outside of the traditional Bud Light, Budweiser, Coors thing there. So you actually went out and you were like, oh, look, there's a selection.
Yeah.
Nice.
I push limits.
Yeah, you do.
I push limits.
Right,
I always have. Yeah.
So now we're
even in Yonkers. Yeah, with the big wheel.
Closing in on 10 years, and you have the vision of a new spot.
Yeah.
How do you pick the location?
The location picked us. I was looking in a lot.
Sweet, just like the first one.
Yeah, well, kind
Another
of.
trend.
Actually, not for nothing, but we were looking for another Cobblestones location.
Not for nothing.
Just to stretch it. We've got a great thing going. It's got a winning formula. Let's look for an old mill building in Lawrence or Haverhill. So that was sort of our twist. And then the landlord of the Ground Round in Chelmsford heard we were looking to expand, and she called.
Your favorite nacho place.
And, yeah, those 25-cent wings or whatever they were. And I loved that location, right off 495, right on Route 110.
Very convenient.
Yeah, super convenient. And it had a track record, 20 years of Ground Round, 20 years as a Hojo's. It doesn't lose as a restaurant. Yeah. But we thought it was too close in proximity to be another Cobblestones. Because Cobblestones' average check at the time was probably twice, what existed in Lowell, a pub or a diner.
Oh,
maybe not quite twice, but... back then steak tips were $10.99.
Like 3 times,
Easy. You're a friend. You're supposed to be a friend.
No, that's because I am continuing to stay there and consume, not because the prices are expensive.
Okay, I got you.
I've always thought for the environment that I'm in, that the prices there are like a little on, like it's kind of cheap.
Yeah.
I know that it seems like it's very fair.
Okay, well that's cool. That's cool. And you know what? We have a bartender who's been with us going on 18 years.
In this town, it's just.
She said last week, our customers don't worry about the price. She's like, they know it's quality. They're having a great time. She goes, because prices everywhere are going up. Costs everywhere are going up right now. And it scares me. It's like you don't want to.
I've never, to be clear here, I've never associated Cobblestones with being high priced.
Yeah, good.
I've always associated with being very fair.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Well, that's what we want.
I don't really go out in Lowell except for Cobblestones.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what we like to hear that. That's our goal. That's our goal. When you go to Lowell,
there's some kind of hippie place there.
Yeah.
It's like green, life alive. I'll go into there.
They do a nice job.
See my people.
Yeah. that organic, those organic grains. Yeah, they do a great job. Those guys.
So Moonstones, you're not sure because it's so close to Lowell, but you go for it.
We decide to go the opposite of American steak seafood. We decided to sort of do a tapas, raw bar, martini dining. What was happening at the time with Blue Ginger and Wellesley, urban environments were moving out of the city and into the suburbs.
And a little hip with their food, where they understood a role.
Right.
They knew what tapas
Bring it to the burbs, right?
They could get get a few apps with some tapas.
Right.
They didn't know what that meant. before. Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's true. And back then when we said tapas, people were like, topless? I'm like, no.
You looked at maybe later, but not for the food time.
Yeah, we just went maybe later. We went with the small plates as a defining category rather than tapas, because you are in the burbs and there's a lot of conservative people out here who just don't go to the city and don't know what's hip, and that's okay. Just as long as the food is great when they get there, and that's what we did. We had an amazing chef back there, and he put together some incredible recipes, and we decided we were going to be just a little. I don't know, a little more chic, sexy than cobblestones. Cobblestones is, wood, and brass and strong and
not like historic, older.
Right, right.
So were you making as opposed to being so hip with the craft beers and that, was there more of a focus on craft cocktails, martinis?
Correct.
This type of
Yeah, we leaned into the cocktail making and a more social environment, and it was a really amazing spot for after work. Had great happy hours, and and by the way, that's what Kathy and I were looking for when we were 40. So we sort of built cobblestones for us at 30, and then we built moonstones for ourselves at 40, because we were going into the city, and or up to Nashua, where dining was a little bit more progressive.
Yeah.
And then by the time we rolled around the Stone Social, I laugh when I say this, but it's the God's honest truth. We built Stone Social for our three daughters.
Okay, I was going to say because
inspired by what they're looking for. Okay. Yeah, sure. Well, you say that, but
you're you know what? I'm ready to have a good time.
Yeah, well, you know what? We were at my nephew's baseball game, and I was talking to a woman about the new concept we were trying to come up with, which spoke to many conditions of the industry and society at the time, lots of inspirations. But I'm like, you got the millennials, you got the boomers who still go out to eat and have all the money, but you got the millennials up and coming, right? And she looks at me, she goes, they're the same person. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, the millennials grew up in the boomers' house. They eat the same food. The millennials like the same food. They just want it less fancy, less obtrusive, cheaper, quicker. And I'm like, holy shit. Right.
Fast casual.
Right, fast casual, to a point. So we say creative comfort.
I like that.
And it's not cobblestones or moonstones. It's not a little bit more upper scale. It's not celebration oriented. It's more like, instead of going to an Irish tavern, come to Stone Social, bring your friends, hang out, listen to great music, laugh loudly.
Maybe a little cleaner. So as we shifted to Stone Social, it's with the assumption that Moonstones worked perfectly.
Moonstones has been fantastic. Moonstones has been a great property.
So how long from that great property did it take until we are at Stone Social? Just 2 years of Moonstones before Nashua?
So Moonstones, I started creating the concept for Stone Social, which was originally Stone's Kitchen. Then we decided to go more away from the food and more towards the socializing and the drinking, partying environment, and let the food sort of surprise you rather than setting an expectation. Because the other two restaurants have a great reputation for incredible food. So I started looking, I think probably 5 or 6 years ago. I started creating the concept. I'm not quick. I take my time. I'm not in a hurry, man. I got 2 successes, and I'm too old to. I'm too old to have a failure on the resume. So, my wife teases me a little bit.
The pressure builds.
Yeah, you know what? I don't need to do it.
Here we go.
Yeah, right.
I understand that as you were doing the build out for this place, and you were doing your design work, Art Deco, that you ended up working with Marcus Sebastiano. Is that true?
That is very true.
He was in the seat that you're in right now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very talented man.
He's crushing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, Marcus was with, refresh my memory, they worked together. Was Marcus? It don't matter. I'll get to it in a minute. Derek. Derek.
Joaquin.
Joaquin. That's right.
Yes.
Marcus was recommended me to by the fine folks at Mill Number 5 in downtown Lowell. Yeah. up there they have a great vibe over there, and we were looking for an artist to create the mojo for Stone Social.
Did it work?
And
you happy with it? You still feel good about it?
Amazing job. I have to give credit to my middle daughter who was in graphic design and went to the School of the Art Institute and very talented but also intelligent young lady. And I said, help me with the aesthetic. And I sent her a number of artists that we were considering. Yep. And she's the one who put her finger on Derek. And she said, I think this is the guy that you're looking for. Explore him further. Yeah. She goes, I think he's going to give you what you want.
He's a great human.
Oh, also, what a
yes.
He really is.
I mean that.
A great dude.
Sure.
And he did amazing work for us. It's so vibrant, and it just feels good. The whole room feels good. Yeah. It's a brand.
That's nice to hear that you like them even after. Aside from the product, that's great.
Yeah. No, they delivered exactly what we were looking for. Actually, a little bit of rock and roll, a little bit of sex appeal, and a lot of color. In
my intro of you, where I said all the sweetest things that you can say about another human,
you did indeed,
right?
Yeah.
I said you're an executor of enrichment, and by that I mean you enrich your community through your establishment. I know this is true of Cobblestones. Do you feel that you actually, that location makes, like, enriched is, whatever, it's without being a conceited or boastful word, but you feel that you actually enrich the community of Lowell with that establishment?
I do what I can.
Yeah.
I think that I'm fortunate to be in a community that's it's enriched.
Yeah, it's open to being
well. Also, it's also thick with people who do well, who do good. It's a community that really cares about other people and really drives initiatives.
Yeah.
To bring equity and help to those that are less fortunate, and it's really been one of the great rewards of our being chosen by Lowell to put our restaurant there. I think that, and it's an interesting story that I actually like to tell. But when I first got to Cobblestones, one of my greatest regrets was that I came from a very, very culturally dynamic environment in New York, and on a Friday night at Cobblestones would be packed, but everybody would look the same. Everybody would be white. And, and I thought to myself, that's not from where I'm from, And so I know that this is an immigrant city, and I know there's all kinds of diversity out there, but why aren't they here?
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is because economically, 28 years ago, that opportunity didn't exist.
Yeah, I got you.
And not for me, but I remember saying it'll happen, and I want to be here when it does happen. And I've watched that community evolve consistently for 28 years. Yeah. Now where there's 3 government officials from Lowell that are from Southeast Asia, Cambodia, and we have our first African-American city councilor in Lowell. And I just think that the community continues to evolve and progress. And
you feel more at home as a result of this also.
For sure. It feels good. And I've been on the board of directors of the Boys and Girls Club for as long as you're allowed to, because I think I just got removed because I termed out, but I took a spot from Kathy, who comes from a family of givers, and those who are out there taking care of their community in a good Christian way. And so I think I've been surrounded by that, and I'm fortunate to be able to be a part of it.
On the tail of giving here, can I give you a gift? You like gifts? Is a gift okay? I'm going to give you a gift.
Sure. Should I be suspicious?
Never. It'd feel good.
Yeah.
This is where you open the gift.
All right.
I kept it simple there. You see where I fold it? Yeah.
With the Enjoy Your Life, with the Enjoy Your Life logo, which I do love. I love the brand.
Yeah. Let's see what's going on. Those just happen to be around. I figured you were a size 13.
I'm heading to the desert right now. So
there you go.
Wear those flip-flops.
Work for you.
You were too funny.
Enjoy your life.
Oh,
There it
new
is.
colors.
Oh,
Matches my
yeah.
shirt, eh?
Wow.
Huh?
You just look like a vacation, Scott.
Well, I'm going on vacation, Mike.
Yeah.
So, some clean, lean protein
You know,
from the
you never know what you're going to need out there in the
people.
desert. That's from the Organic Natural Shop.
I'm bringing
Rowley,
that,
Mass.
I'm bringing that with me.
Yeah, you should. Who knows what's going to happen?
There's no beach. There's no beach in Arizona. Is that a beach towel? Oh no! Look at that,
Look at that one, huh?
dude. I did not come here expecting gifts.
Well, gifts expected you, if that makes any sense at all.
Oh yeah.
That looks like your
Enjoy
jam
your
right
life.
there.
Look
I
at
see you
that,
just
eh?
sitting there in Naples with that
Huh?
on. Yeah. Oh,
I'm down,
yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah,
I
and
love
then-
it. I love it.
And on the golf
On
course,
the golf course. Look at you.
how's your
Mike.
golf game?
Well, non-existent these days because I'm back to work, kid. I'm back to work.
Yeah.
But I'll get out eventually. Yeah, it's been a grind right now, but I can't wait to get out there.
So we've talked a lot about the business. What is there more items in there? We got some nice
Yeah,
natural
yeah.
products for you again from the
Should I say them
Organic
out loud
Natural
here?
Shop.
Or the Organic
Ah, yeah.
Natural Shop.
yeah Rowley, Mass.
Thank you,
Michael,
thank you.
beautiful human over there.
Little Enjoy Your Life sticker for the back of the
And
for the
probiotics,
bumper,
all
the
things.
probiotics with my clean, lean
We
protein.
love you more
What are you trying to tell me,
Hey.
Mike? You
I'm
gotta eat a
telling you
little
what-
cleaner, huh?
No,
I gotta
that's it. I'm
gotta
telling you, I love you. I
gotta
care about
step
you. I'm
away
only
from the
giving you
braised short
quality.
rib.
If I sat here and gave you items that were bad for you, would you think I care about
That
you?
would not be okay.
Yeah, I care about you. That's all.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
Of course.
That was very sweet.
Yeah.
I
You're welcome.
appreciate it.
Now,
I'm gonna wear all of this proudly.
we've discussed all the successes of your businesses. Everything is at this point going wonderful there. Before we get back into that and really dig into the bones of what might be going on now, let's get to know you further as a human being, the individual that is Scott Plath, right? What kind of music do you listen to? You driving what are you driving? Escalade? Like 4 rows of seats in it? What do you
I'm
have?
connected.
Yeah.
Because I'm connected.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I now drive my wife's BMW X5 because I had a sedan, but I didn't like it too much. It's a long story. It's not important.
Okay.
But I cranked Spotify. You know what? I like all music, Mike.
What do you put
I
on?
like all
You have to
music.
pick a station, though. Don't you have with that stuff?
Mostly playlists that we
Just
build for the
playlist.
restaurants.
I see.
We play, and I have 3 very, very musically inclined and enriched daughters who actually have created the playlist for our restaurants throughout the years, going back many years.
Yeah.
So I generally listen to what they put together.
Whatever they're into.
Yeah, because they're hip and cool and.
You love them.
You know, but they would, if they were calling in right now, they would say he's listening to Dave Matthews.
Now,
Who's touring, by the way, next year? I got
I never really got too far into Dave Matthews.
No, it's not your thing. Yeah.
I think that Dave Matthews is super talented. I definitely love a lot of his tunes, but I've never been like buy the albums, listen to them beginning to end.
Yeah.
Like I think that obviously for me there's something missing there.
Okay, I get it.
Maybe it's
I
not
get it.
dark enough or not happy enough.
Dark
I don't know.
enough. Yeah,
Somewhere in the
yeah.
middle of it's like
Yeah.
kind of middle.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Might be middle.
Never thought about
it. Sure. Well, that's the beauty of music, right?
I'm just going off the cuff here. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I did go see him at Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. And next year, in a couple of weeks, we're seeing him at Tweeter, and then we're talking about going to see him in Ireland.
Look at
He's going
you.
to be in Ireland next year. Like, how much fun would that be, right?
This leads me into my next question. Traveling.
Yeah.
You're into this.
Well, I love to travel. Haven't
Yeah.
done much of it, obviously. Who has in the last couple of years? But,
Yeah.
but like I said, domestically, I'm really looking forward to next week. I'm going to Arizona to visit one daughter who is on the border of Arizona
Can you
and
say her
Mexico.
name? What's her name?
Tara, my daughter
yeah.
Tara.
Okay.
Sorry, Tara.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my oldest daughter's in Rhode Island. I was with her last weekend.
Is she getting old?
Is she getting old?
Just kidding.
No, I don't
'Cause
think
you're-
she's
what are
getting
you,
old.
You're
but-
44? Is
yeah,
that?
I'm still 44.
44.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
She is 35, so you know I'm not 44, but
Yeah, that's right. You must be 46.
yeah.
Wardrobe
I'm getting
malfunction, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So started bright and early. Yeah, Tara's in Arizona on the Mexican border doing Yemen's work,
Yeah.
keeping people alive in the desert, and we're gonna go visit her. and try not to get too sunburned, because she said you got to come before May, but we didn't listen. So
And bring your passport.
It's in the 90s. Oh yeah, bring the passport, because we're gonna road trip to Mexico to get some ceviche and tacos. She says.
Look at this.
And then we're going up to Colorado, because my youngest daughter Kelly is there with her boyfriend, and she moved last year. And so we're going to go to Red Rocks. We're going to see a concert at Red Rocks, something I've always wanted to do.
I still haven't done this.
I think it might be Michael Ferrante, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm probably mistaken. I'm often mistaken.
Yeah.
I just say shit.
He's like a cousin of mine.
Is he? Yeah.
Silly questions here. Do you call her Tarazona?
I'm going to now.
Do you call her Colorado?
Kelly, look at you, huh? You just make this up as you go,
I just couldn't help it.
How about that? Colorado.
Tarazona.
Oh,
I think I'm funny. I know I'm not, but I enjoy it. So let's talk about self-care practices. You're the guy that goes out there and gets like manicures, pedicures, really takes care of yourself. The massages going when you're on vacation?
No. I set Kathy up. That's Kathy's.
Oh, you take
that's
care of
Kathy's
her.
gig. Yeah.
You're more on the beach, sand, poolside.
Yeah. If there's a hot tub, I'll slide into the hot tub. Into the pool, into the waves. My therapy is the waves.
When you're out there in the world, are you into the dining experience? I know you own restaurants, so you're really into it in that way.
Sure.
Do you get to go out, order a meal, and truly enjoy it, or do you find yourself being like analytical, critical? Or are you analytical, critical, and allowing yourself to still really enjoy the situation? You're still observing what's going on. I wouldn't have done that. That wasn't right. This is really good that they did this kind of guy.
Yeah. It's a great question.
Yeah.
And many, many years ago, my wife actually didn't want to go out to dinner with me because everything was researched. Well, not so much that I'm loudly complaining about shit, but
Cisco.
but I'm making notes. Making notes, taking pictures, making observations, and but
Kathy, I'm sorry you had to go through this.
Yeah. She was like, she would make me sit and face the wall so I couldn't see what the staff was doing, and but these days, it's been a long time, Mike. I've been doing this for a long time, so and you know what? The other thing is, knock wood, we're able to go out and have a nice meal now and afford it, so.
Plastic underneath.
We tend to
on this part. No bamboo
there.
There.
The bamboo. That's kind of like wood, right? Yeah. Knock plastic. When you're folding BJ's warehouse tables under there. Yeah. We tend to try to find either the nicest, better restaurant in the area, or obviously something that's culturally sound and embodies the place that we are.
Enjoy the authenticity of
the
experience.
I'm not trying to figure out whether the wait staff is trained and had a good pre-meal training session. We're just eating tacos in Mexico and and ceviche in Puerto Rico.
Thoughts, would you?
It's haunting. It's haunting, kid.
So do you ever, I guess, get to enjoy a meal?
Sure.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you ever get locally? You look great.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Do you ever get to locally enjoy a meal?
Yeah, I love.
What are your spots? Can you say in Lowell? Is there any place you go?
Sure.
It is not cobblestones. Scott Plath.
Well, I can tell you honestly, we don't go out in Lowell a lot because I prefer when I'm in Lowell to be in my restaurants. Just not because it's necessarily a better experience, but because then I'm observing my people and keeping us on top of our game. But yes, I do have favorite spots in Lowell. I do love the Sizzling Kitchen because the chef is on site all the time and he makes an incredible pho and Cambodian food, but he also has an Italian offering. So two different palates could be at the same table, both being satisfied, and I love the innovation behind that. My favorite place to have a couple of beers and an appetizer is the Old Court because, love those guys.
Yeah.
Finbar and Jerry are salt of the earth. We had ramen last Friday night. We kicked out early and we went to the ramen bar and felt very old because everybody in that place was young and hip, and Kathy was making jokes about how
a little older and hip though.
That's all. You fake it till you make it, right?
So 3 restaurants. It's a lot of thoughts. There's a lot going on.
Always.
How do you maintain focus and drive and the ability to want to
not only maintain but further progress? What does this drive? It's just your natural makeup? Or do you look to somebody? You got somebody in your corner going, "You got this, Scotty." You're watching motivational speakers. You and Tony Robbins are best buds.
I don't do much of that. No.
Yeah, I can't see you being that guy.
I don't do much of that. I'm pretty motivated. I don't know what it is, whether it's deep-rooted insecurity or just the thrill of competition. I'll tell you though, you talk about being motivated. I have never had the challenge to be motivated as I have for the last 2 years. The last 2 years have been brutal, finding the energy to
So it wasn't easy working your way through
the last 2
the
years.
health crisis with 3 restaurants.
Easy, not at all.
One that had just opened.
No, I came close to throwing in the towel a couple of times.
Is that true?
Yeah. No, God's honest truth. Yeah. We were looking at, what can
which one of these are we closing?
What will we do? What will we do if we don't do this? Because I don't have any other real skills. And I'm, and I don't have enough
you
money.
say that,
and I'm
but
too young.
it's not true.
Yeah, well,
funny because you'd be able to get a job in like a day and a half.
Yeah.
We
are working somebody else's schedule, though.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You know?
I could pay the bills, but
you eliminate any sort of entitlement, you'd be able to pay your bills immediately. So
sure.
you do have other skills, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But our daughters actually saved us. They came home during the pandemic. One was in London, one was in Chicago. And they came home, and at the time that we were really at the very, very bottom, and like, how do we do? The hardest day of my life was letting 97 people go, and putting them all on unemployment. And it was an act of generosity, really, because we want to make sure that the unemployment resources are there for you.
Yeah.
Let's quick get in line, because who knows, when the entire country is going on unemployment. So and then we started building back, 6 employees and 10 employees and 12 employees, and now we're back to over 70 between the 3 properties 2 years later.
And would you like more? Are you trying to have more?
You know what? I have a vision to have more.
Yeah.
Stone Social was only opened as a beta site. It's half the square footage that it should be for that concept. It should be social. There should be a shuffleboard table. There should be a pool table, a ping pong table. It should be a place to hang out and really celebrate friendship and meeting people. And it's kind of small and intimate, but it was friends of ours who couldn't continue to operate, and we took it over because it was damn close to turnkey. Yeah. And so we created a beta site, and it was, we didn't know the pandemic was coming, so thank God this is what we did, because it
we didn't
know. But we figured, let's negotiate another advantageous lease that allows us to decide whether we want to stay or not stay over the long term, and let's work out the kinks of this concept that we spent 5 years creating. But then the pandemic stripped us of all of those employees, all of our momentum, took by 2 very successful autopilot restaurants that were being run by incredible women.
Made them day-to-day nightmares.
Made them nightmares. We had to start really very close from the bottom. Yeah, we opened Moonstones 2 weeks later with just takeout food in metal pans. This beautiful restaurant with this incredible menu, and we're piling it into metal pans, and it makes you want to cry, really. But
oh my gosh,
we wanted to keep people working. And keep the building warm and keep our name out there. So this entire thing has been a completely different exercise, from managing the upside and great success and how do we grow more, to the complete opposite.
Yeah,
managing the bottom and being in survival mode every day for going on 2 years. And we're not out of that shit. We're now making.
In what sense? What's happening now?
Well, the hardest thing right now is that we can't grow to recover the debt because we can't open the hours that we need to open because there's not enough staff.
Yeah.
And everybody's suffering that. And then your reputation is damaged when you run out of food.
Why do you think there's not enough staff? Why is it so hard to find people to work? Can you answer this question?
We're going into a different realm right now.
Can you kindly answer, or just subjectively answer this question here?
I think there are multiple reasons. I think everybody wants it to be an easy answer. Everybody's lazy and stays home. And I think there are a lot of things happened. I think a lot of people retired because of COVID or died. Yeah. And left opportunities for others. So, people who wanted to be a school teacher can now become a school teacher and no longer be a server or a bartender, which makes up a certain percentage of our labor force. I think that the last administration, for better or for worse, locked down immigration and scared a lot of people with ICE and all of that. And there's a certain percentage of our population that are immigrants.
Yeah.
So they have dissipated.
Yeah.
I think that there's a couple of other. People have gone out on their own. People have changed careers. I've got 3 managers that were driving trucks after they left us.
Some self-reflection and maybe more of I want to live this more of pursuit of passion.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting because the opposite. I was in a passionate industry. I was in a passionate industry, which I love, but it is 24/7, the restaurant business.
Yes.
When we get home late at night and we get up early in the morning and we work weekends and holidays. And I think some people, like when you stop, you stop and you're like, oh, wow, I can take a rest. I can sleep late. I can spend more time with my kids. Maybe I'll just drive a truck.
Oh, my lawn.
Yeah, right, sure. But I tell you, I just have 2 returnees who did that and said, fuck that.
That's just a little too normal for me, man.
I'm bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
I hate my job.
Yeah.
I hate my job. So
Bring me back those late nights and wild. Yeah.
Yeah, and the good people that work in our industry, the dynamic
socializing,
nature,
the whole scene.
Yeah. It's a great environment, man. I love what I do.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
So at this point, currently, what are you afraid of? You afraid of what the 3 current locations? What are the fears that exist? Anything keeping you up at night right now?
The only thing that keeps me up at night, and yes, I wake up in the middle of the night much more often than ever before.
Damn neighbor's dog barking.
It's not that. Well, it could be Lowell sirens. I live in downtown Lowell now, in a 1,000-foot condo, which, by the way, was a blessing. We sold our big house in Tingsboro.
Yeah.
Traded down into this condo we bought 10 years ago. Me and my wife, our kids are all gone. We don't need the big space.
Wow.
And let's think about what we're going to do next. Maybe we'll drive up, we'll move up to Newburyport and be neighbors with Mikey.
Wow.
And then
Look at that.
And then the pandemic hit.
That's a good idea.
Right?
It's not good.
Well, it was good because we had no payments and our restaurants were sunk to zero.
Yeah.
So actually a blessing. But now 3 years later, we're like, I'm going to be in this room, you be in this room, and I'll see you in 3 or 4 hours because it's small. And there's no back deck. You can't go on the back deck and, and spark one up. And,
Yep. Oh, my gosh.
It's all right, though. It's all right.
So,
no fears, Mike.
I don't think you
fears.
do.
Just problems. Just problems that need to be solved. We need more staff. We need to continue to evolve our business models to a newer day, which is less staff. And the thing is, the folks don't get it. The customers don't get it. Some do, but some just don't. They're clueless.
They're saying people are vocally aggressive or
leaving bad reviews. A woman left a bad review the other day, annoyed that no one offered them seating in the dining room. There's a reason we're not seating in the dining room. We don't have enough service to open the dining room. So we're seating the patio and the tavern. We chose those 2 rooms today because it was a beautiful sunny day. And had I not opened the patio, you'd have been complaining that on a beautiful sunny day, who doesn't open the patio? So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. There are these people out there.
Yeah.
They live in this world of complaining.
Yeah. I'm like, are you kidding me? Which, to me, is just a kick in the ass to the team. Because you give a restaurant a shitty review, I'm still going to sleep. Right. But this is how these folks make their living. This is, the more customers, the more gratuities, the more they can pay their rent and feed their children. And you put a shitty review out there because you couldn't sit in the dining room, you spoiled.
Yeah, and it's more often than not like the extremist people that are doing it. The people that come there and have a great time, they love you, they say the nicest things, they're not running to their social media to add a review.
Yeah.
Right?
The keyboard warriors.
Yeah, they are. So, what's next for you now? Is there a future plan? Is 3 the magic number? Is there 4 in sight? Is there?
No, we're looking for the 4th location. We think we might come back to Lowell. I love the direction that Lowell has been going for the last few years. I think it's getting younger and hipper and more people out and about.
Yeah.
And there's so much choice in Lowell. I mean,
There
I just
is.
wrote a blog about it a couple weeks ago, just talking about like all of the different.
Are we plugging your blog right now? You got a blog going on?
Splath.com.
Splat?
Splath, first initial, last name.
I love it.
Splath.com.
Splath.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get it in.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I just wrote about all the options. I mean, I live in downtown, so Kathy will say, "What do you want to eat tonight?" I'm like, "Let's start walking, and we'll find something." You know, there's tacos, and there's Cambodian, and there's ramen, and there's Irish, and there's Portuguese, and it goes on and on. So it's a melting pot of
So
ethnic opportunity.
Lowell it's going to be right there, right? Like within a mile of cobblestones. What's the vision, though? You going to tell me? Are you going to have an Italian restaurant? What do we?
No, another Stone Social. Stone Social's
Stone
it.
Social,
Yeah,
that's
Stone
the jam,
Social.
okay.
This was the beta
That's the
site in
brand, I
Nashua.
gotcha.
That's the brand.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to evolve it further. There's more that we can do with it for
So you're
sure.
looking for a big space.
Bigger space, an outdoor space and fun space. You know, we want people to just, you know what? People have meetings at Panera.
Yeah.
And no offense against Panera. They've been a very successful company,
Yes.
but I wouldn't have a meeting at Panera. And people go and they open their laptops as Starbucks, and I'm sorry. So I get it.
I
get
hear ya,
Starbucks, but, you know, it's a Fortune, 100 company.
It's not like
I'm
regular working humans
Yeah, come open
that
your
live in
laptop.
the same city where the place is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Come hang out with people, with people, right?
That's the owner right there. Oh my God, he just brought my food out.
Playing shuffleboard.
Yeah. We just had a beer together. So when you're out walking around in Lowell, where you live now, let's say you go into the bodega, the convenience store.
Sure.
You get your items. You know, you need a little snack. You get a mango, banana, whatever you do.
Yeah, sure.
Snickers. You bring it up to
No
the
Snickers,
counter.
no Snickers. Yeah.
No Snickers. You put it on the counter. And as you put it down on the counter, immediately there is an opportunity that exists. The opportunity to communicate with another human first, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a human that wants to communicate, maybe a human that doesn't want to communicate.
Yeah.
But when this opportunity presents itself here, how does Scott Plath typically behave? No words are said. Nothing happens. Or when you're walking out,
know that's not
person's
true.
like, this guy, I was just like head down trying to just make him pay, and all of a sudden I'm laughing, and I'm like, I hope that guy comes back. What's the scene?
I'm gonna plug a restaurant in Arundel, Maine, because I happened to be there this weekend with friends and family, and they suggested a place called Binda Loop.
Yeah.
Like a farmhouse, just an excellent experience.
Yeah.
But on the way out, we grabbed a couple coffees for the road because there was going to be some campfire wine drinking going on. And,
Oh, yeah.
and they were giving away these little buttons that said, "I talk to strangers." And I'm like, oh, I got to have that button right there. And so to answer your
Open up the
question,
gate. Yeah.
you know what? I look at everybody as a potential friend, as a potential connection, the potential to bring a smile, or hear a story, So I talk to just about everybody.
Yeah.
As long as the opening is there. There are somebody who don't want to
Not
talk.
trying to bother people.
And we leave them
Yeah.
alone,
Yeah.
We get it. We read people, but no, I get some flack for that. Like, is there anybody? I talk to people in traffic. I roll down the window. Like, what's going on over there?
Lane was there.
Yeah, what are you listening to? Is that
it.
Dave Matthews you're listening to? Cause
My man.
my man.
Let's go. I like that about you. So, Scott, there's two reasons why I asked you to come here today. Okay? The first is it's inspirational. It's wonderful to watch when somebody has a concept, an idea, passion-driven, something that they love, and they choose to take all the steps that are necessary, beat all the obstacles, all the hurdles to get there, to make their passion, their dream a reality, when we know most people have it to something they want to do, and they just listen to everyone else tell them it's not realistic, and they don't do it. So to see you as a human that created all of these things on his own, take the steps day in, day out, and build the world and the life that you want based upon something that you love, it's admirable. So I love you for that. That's the first reason. All right?
Thank you very much.
You inspire people, whether you know this or not.
Mm-hmm.
There are people around you that look to you and they're like, all right, Scott is a down-to-earth human being that is accomplishing great things. He makes me think that with hard work, dedication, great effort, that I could do something with myself. So, first reason. Second reason, things work out for a lot of people, and their attitude changes, their behavior changes, their ego shifts. And for you, as over the years I've known you, which has probably been 20 years at this point, whether
Easily
you are
20,
aware of this or not.
For sure.
You've continued to be a kind and loving human. You're nice to me. I see you. I like to see you. I feel like you like it when you see me.
I do.
And
I do indeed.
other people say good things about you. You care for the community. You give back. You're a good person is what I'm saying. The second reason that I'm open and wanting you to be here today is that you actually care about the world and the people that are in it. And I believe that to be true about you.
I do very much so.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
thank
it.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. You are a beautiful man. And you know what? I don't know. It's we're all the same. You know, we're all people. I mean, honestly. And I love our people. And if I don't love somebody that works with us, we help them exit. We invite them to go work somewhere else, because our number one commitment to our teams is that we will surround them with people who care about them, who got their back. That is our number one commitment. I promise you, 28 years ago I was talking about it, and I'm talking about it 28 years later. Our commitment to you is that we surround you with people who care about you. So you have to work for a living. You might as well work for a living with good people who are nice, who are respectful, who are not arrogant, who understand that getting to work on time is respectful of the other people's time. And, you know, and I don't know.
On this topic here, just exactly what you're talking about, you definitely have employees that are going to be watching this show, are watching this at the moment. And if I were to ask you, which I'm going to ask you, do the people that work for you like you? Are you a good person? Do you treat them kindly?
I think mostly, most of the time, I think.
Yeah.
I think that most people that know me and work for me know that I'm a good person and I have the best intentions. I think when you have 97 employees in 3 restaurants, you can get lost in your own stress and your own aggravation. And there are too many times I come through the door with a furrowed brow and demanding better
Overly
results.
Ambitious.
You know, I don't do it disrespectfully, but there are more times that I should stop and say, thank you, I appreciate you, for sure.
Do you, in a situation where you rightfully should, are you the individual that would say, hey, I'm sorry, yesterday I was a little wild, guys, I apologize, I know I came in here hot-headed, even to the people that are your employees?
Sure.
Well, you'll do that.
Of course.
You say sorry. Some people don't say sorry.
Oh yeah. I'm as flawed as anybody out there. I make
And you
as
admit
many
this.
mistakes as anybody does.
Okay.
Oh, for sure. And anybody who doesn't think that way, you know, I don't know. I'm all about honesty. You know, we're all human. We're all flawed. And I like surrounding myself with great people, and great people care about other people. And you talked about the community earlier, but we have the wherewithal to give back to our community. I mean, we're only there because of our community, and because
no
of,
community,
you
no
know,
you.
Yeah, no community,
You put
no
that
me,
operation
right?
out in the middle of Davis, West Virginia, player, and you got nothing happening.
Right. So why not create the win-win? You know, it's good for the soul.
Yeah.
It's good for the community. It's good for business. There's zero reason not to do so, and it makes everybody feel good. Listen, my proudest story ever about all the things that we've accomplished over the course of 28 years is when the Boys and Girls Club got a federal grant to create a meals program so that they could feed an awful lot of hungry children a meal before they went home, many who don't go home to a hot meal. And we contributed vendors, equipment, a chef. We had our employees actually competing. We'd only need 2 or 3 employees a day for the weeks that we helped them install this meal program, which is now up to feeding somewhere close to 300 kids a day, and they're trying to get to 600 with this new grant and capital campaign. By the way, I wouldn't mind plugging that.
Yeah.
Boys and Girls Club of Lowell has raised $9 million towards an $18 million goal to double their capacity to help the youth of Lowell, put them on the right path and put an end to generational poverty. And so if anybody's listening out there who has moved at all to be part of that program, we greatly appreciate the support. The Lowell Boys and Girls Club, the capital campaign. Just go right to the website. Yeah. It's all right there. And we did that years ago. And our teams were actually fighting, not fist fighting, but competing.
Like, let me go today.
Let me go.
Oh my God.
Let me go help feed the kids.
Kids are so
let
nice.
me go,
Let's
cook the food. We want to go. And so we had a volunteer sign-up sheet. At the time, we were just 2 restaurants, and our teams alternated, taking the opportunity to go to the Boys and Girls Club every day of the week and make sure that we were putting this program in place so that these kids had a hot, nutritious meal before we went home.
That's really incredible of you. You like games, Scott?
Games.
Yeah, like a game,
A game.
Play games?
I play some games. Yeah.
Don't play game?
Oh, I'm down, Mike. I trust
Doesn't
you.
really require much.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to pretend a lot's going on, but it's really not going to be anything but more questions.
Okay.
All right? At a fast pace. It's called Fast, Fun, and Not So Smart. It's not so smart only because I'm just going to answer the questions, all right? Don't go thinking too much.
I'm ready.
Here it is. Fast, fun, and I'm going to clap too because it's going to make it seem a little more intense, like something's happening. Fast, fun, and not so smart with Scott Plath. Here we go. Kale salad or steak sub?
Steak sub every day.
Basketball or football?
Football. No doubt.
Will Smith or Chris Rock?
Will Smith is dead to me.
The best band of all time.
Oh, Stevie Wonder.
Seinfeld or Friends? I got to quiet down for this.
I'd have to go with Seinfeld.
Yeah, man.
But
favorite Lowell Folk Festival event?
This year, Mike Burney on Friday night. This year, July 29th. Yeah, brother.
Oh, yeah.
From sundown till the man comes around.
Will you ever run for mayor of Lowell, Massachusetts?
Not a chance. Too many skeletons.
Final question. Are you happy you came here today?
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Hell
God.
yeah. I was really looking forward to it. I cranked music the entire drive. I'm like, I'm going to get psyched up to hang out with Mikey for an hour. And
You're
I
a
appreciate
good
it.
man.
Yeah.
So let's do all the things here for Cobblestones. Like, where do you want people to go on the social media websites? What are we trying to drive people to?
StonesHospitalityGroup.com. Quite simply, StonesHospitalityGroup.com. All 3 restaurants are listed there, and you can jump around as you wish to see what they're all about.
Yeah,
there's
I love
pictures, there's menus, there's our concepts. It's
That's StonesHospitalityGroup.com, and the locations are Lowell, Massachusetts, Chelmsford, Mass, Nashua, New Hampshire. All places, great food, great people.
Great people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some gift
for
certificates to Cobblestones.
Well, come hang out, man.
truck.
Come hang out. Let me know when
Every
you're going
time
to be
I come,
there.
I use my real money because I feel like gift certificates, I'm like, not that nice.
Kale salad. Man, come on.
I'm a kale guy.
Damn.
So honestly, I appreciate you being here today, Scott. Is there anything I missed? Something you want to say?
I don't think so, Mike.
You love your wife. I think we've said that.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing, actually.
Your kids are pretty good.
My kids are amazing as well. They're good people, and they're independent now. So they're doing their own thing, and we don't need to finance them anymore.
Wow.
And it's nice to see your kids grow up. And
take care of themselves.
And take care of themselves and take care of others, more importantly. They take care of others, all 3 of them.
I've heard of some epic things that are going on there.
Yeah, they're
Must
actually
make Daddy proud.
incredible human beings.
Yeah.
Very proud, very proud. Their priorities are properly aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for being here, Scott.
Yeah, my
Appreciate
pleasure,
you.
man. Love
Yeah.
you, really.
This is offering something. Much love to our sponsors at Enjoy Your Life brand, the Organic Natural Shop.
Thank you. You're so beautiful for watching the show. It's so nice of you. This is Scott Plath, the man behind Stone's Hospitality Group. He's got a beautiful team behind him, and it's not just you. I'd like to give you all the credit, but not really.
No.
You got an army behind you of like amazing
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
All right.
Thank you so much.
I love you.
Yeah, love you too.
I hope you remember this moment forever. Yeah.